Namaste. As we have completed the scene 1 of the single act play based on Vishad Yoga, we are moving towards the scene 2 based on Karma Yoga. Scene is the battlefield. Shri Krishna and Arjuna are in Arjun's chariot. जिस हाल में जिस देश में जिस वेश में रहो, जिस हाल में जिस देश में जिस वेश में रहो, राधारमन 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 कहो। जिस गाम में जिस काम में जिस धाम में जिस गाँव में रहो, राधारमन 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 कहो। जिस रोग में जिस रोग में जिस भोग में जिस योग में रहो, राधारमन 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 कहो। O Lord, from what you have just now said, it appears that knowledge is superior to action. Then why do you force me to fight? You are really confusing me. Please tell me with certainty the one way to attain bliss. Arjun, work is necessary for the maintenance of the body. No one can remain really actionless even for a moment. Everyone is driven to action by the qualities born of nature. If the mind of a man wanders in sensual objects when he sits seemingly actionless, he is surely a hypocrite, mithyachari. He who does actions without attachment is really a man of action. He who rejoices in the senses but does not please the devas who are really responsible for his pleasure by doing sacrifice lives in vain. Therefore, perform action which is duty without attachment. Man certainly reaches the supreme by performing action without attachment. Janak and others attain perfection through action. Krishna, Janak was a great Jnani. How do the Jnanis move about in the world? They also behave in conformity with their nature as ordinary men do. How can this be? Arjun, a Jnani works as a master. He has nature under his control, whereas an Ajnani or a worldly man works as a slave of nature. Mark, even Jnanis like Bhishma Pitama, Yudhishthir and the Dronacharya are fighting. Every man has to perform action according to his nature. What can mere restraint do? These Jnanis have got over the idea of agency. They have negated the idea, I am the doer. How are we to remove the idea of agency? All actions are done by the qualities of nature. Only the egoistic man thinks, I am the doer. Constantly remember that the qualities move amidst the objects and that the Atma is actionless. He who is free from the egoistic notion, with mind unruffled and unaffected, though he outwardly slays these people, he slays not, nor is he bounds. He who knows the essence of things, thinks, I do not do anything. Seeing Hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, closing the eyes are only dharmas of the senses. The senses move among the objects. This is the attitude of a Jnani Yogi. But as I said, even the Jnani will be acting outwardly as other men do. A singer or a dancer cannot check himself when he attends a musical or announced party. His nature will force him to sing or dance. Only through obstinacy you are telling, I will not fight. You, very Kshatriya nature, will force to fight. There are two types of sages. Some are dynamic and some others are quiet. The sages also continue to keep up a minute trace of their previous innate nature, though they are not influenced by it. The sages also exhibit, to a very small extent, preference to their certain objects. A certain sage had a liking for a certain kind of sweet meat. This is like the emanation of the fragrance of musk from a bottle in which musk was kept, even though it is cleaned several times. You said, what can restraint do? What exactly did you mean by that? Having abandoned attachment to the fruit of action, always content, nowhere seeking refuge, he is not doing anything, although doing actions. Hoping for nothing, his mind, self-control, having abandoned all greed, performing action by the body alone, he does not commit sin. Content with whatsoever he obtains without effort, free from the pairs of opposites, free from envy, balanced in success and failure. Though acting, he is not bound. In one whose attachment is dead, who is harmonious with his thoughts established in wisdom, his work sacrifices, all actions melt away. He who acts, placing all action in the eternal, abandoning attachment, is unaffected by sin, as a lotus leaf by the water. Taking equally pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat, gird yourself up for the battle. Then you will not incur sin. What is inaction in action, and action in inaction? When one does action without egoism and expectation of fruits, it is inaction in action. It is not action at all. It will not bind him. If a man sits quiet without moving the body, but allowing the mind to dwell on various kinds of objects, it is action in inaction. If he says, I am only sitting quiet, I do not perform any action, this is itself an action. O Lord, you preach renunciation of action and then also yoga. Of the two, which is the better? Tell me this conclusively. My beloved Arjun, both lead to the highest bliss, but the yoga by action is verily better than renunciation of action. Children, not sages speak of Sankhya and yoga as different. He who is duly established in both or in one obtains the fruits of both. That place which is obtained by the Sankhyas or the Jnana Yogis is attained by the Karma Yogis also. He who sees that the Sankhya and the Karma Yogas are one, really sees. Drag on by what does a man commit sin, even though he is unwilling? O Varshneya, yet as though he is forced by some power. It is desire and anger born of rajas that force a man to commit sin. They are all consuming, all polluting. They are your enemies on this earth. Further, the four castes emanating from me according to the qualities of man. Everyone should perform his duty according to his caste and order of life. Better do one's own duty, though destitute of merit, than neglects one's own and discharge another's duty well. It is better to die in the discharge of one's own duty. The duty of another is full of danger. Congenital duty, though defective, ought not to be abandoned. All undertakings are indeed at the beginning clouded by defects as fire by smoke. He who performs such actions as his duty, indifferent to the fruit of action, he is an ascetic. He is a yogi, not he that is without sacrificial fire and without rites. O Lord, what is the real technique of Karma Yoga? Perform action, O Dhananjaya. Dwelling in union with the divine, renounce attachment. Be balanced in success and failure. Equilibrium is called yoga. What becomes of those who perform sacrifice and other charitable acts with selfish motive? They go to the heaven and enjoy in heaven the divine pleasure of the shining ones or devas. Having enjoyed the spacious heaven, they come back to this world when the merits of their good action have been exhausted. If the yogi departs in smoke, night time, the dark fortnight, and the 6 months of the southern journey of the sun, he obtains the Chandraloka and returns. What about those yogins and bhaktas who move in the path of Devayana? Fire, light, daytime, the bright fortnight, the 6 months of the sun northward journey, then going forth, the man who knows the eternal go to the eternal. They reach Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. They never come back to this world of death. I have now a clear understanding of the Karma Yoga.
Behind always your inner motive. Work without egoism. Cultivate the bhav. Give up expectation of fruit. Surrender always to the Lord. Have equal vision and balanced mind. Selfless work will purify your heart. Then you will get knowledge of self. Narayan, 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 Narayan. Hari ki premi, Hari Hari bolo. आओ प्यारे मिलकर गाओ. हरि चरण में ध्यान लगाओ. दुख में हरि हरि बोलो. अभिमान त्यागो सेवा करो. नारायण